Yeah, it's really, really something special. Get control now. There we go. Alright, let's start a new game. Warm breeze fills the air. Paper floats by and comes to rest on the ground. Letter. Summer 2019. Dear player, thank you for playing Anodyne 2, Turn to Dust. Somewhat of a spiritual successor. Narrative and thematic ties to the first Anodyne features a completely new world and characters. That is to say, the two games can be enjoyed in any order. At times, the world of Anodyne 2 is a strange and confusing place. But at its heart is a story of human struggles and relationships. Now, come on, go on a curious and wonderful journey together. Antani and Marina Kataka. But I need to check game right one. There we go. Update. Some say that life is a circle. Madness. All things grow from a point, a center. Everything to come was already here. Melts out from a tiny capsule. Sponge and beauty is to witness the true shape of the primordial point. Fractals unfurled to their limits. Atomic, indivisible tips of it. Time, after all, is a looking glass. An illusion, yet the truest way to see ourselves. Stunning words as always, friend. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. The one we are here to meet is barely a baby, not yet hatched. We must lead her gently into the bright light of the world. Oh look, our precious Nova seems to be stirring. Following are the first words that Nova will ever hear. In time, the contents of the speech will fade into obscurity, but she will never forget first hearing this voice. Ah yes, this voice, so fragrant and so beautiful that Nova felt like crying. Had she been blessed with tear ducts, perhaps she would have. You may have forgotten how hard it is when you first realize that you exist. Nova certainly felt that now. When she heard this creature speak, she thought, perhaps it might be worth it. Nova, can you hear me? Take a deep breath, my darling. Open your eyes. From the darkness, an orange glow. From the silence, the crashing of waves. There she is, still a little woozy, are you? Don't worry. Natural to feel disoriented when you first gain consciousness. Child, your name is Nova, and you are an extraordinary creature with the unique ability to shrink to microscopic sizes. It will come in quite handy, as you'll soon see. My name is Palisade, and I'm here with C. Psalmist. Together, we will serve as your caretakers and your guides. Palisade the sheep. That sweet voice definitely lifts. We'll fight for you. C. Psalmist, a musician, dedicated songwriter, awkward around kids, kind of a nerd. Mommies? Question mark. Caretakers and guides. Would you like to say hello to Nova, C. Psalmist? Greetings, young Nova. It is I, C. Psalmist. I am speaking to you from outside of your egg. Ahem. Space, after all, is an illusion. It could be likened to a looking glass. A looking glass is a mirror, by the way. I used to think it was a telescope or a scope. You know, some kind of tube-shaped object. Thank you for that enlightening clarification, C. Psalmist. Now, Nova, as C. Psalmist mentioned, you are currently inside of your egg. In order to hatch and truly begin your life, you will ride the Hatchline monorail that leads to the top of the hill. However, you can only leave if you obtain the sacred Glandilock seed. For now, you may think of the Glandilock seed as a ticket to ride. First, speak to the 3 yoke figures. Each yoke will give you a special item that will prepare you to host a Glandilock seed. and speak to the Chalaza tree at the highest point on the island. Go get him, Nova. Been probably about a year since I first played this, and already I'm just like falling totally for it again. Ah, this game is great. Album and Shore. I love these hanging. Strange figure is silent. Is it alive? Nova wonders. Nevertheless, its gaze beckons her. Enter my round golden pate, it seems to say. Shall find a part of this breakfast. Yoke and Nova's fate begin to resonate. The presence of a new nanopoint is in the air. Spark this bead and reveal its nanopoint. Bring forth nanoclean, Nova. Forgot about the breakfast. Yolk of Yummy. Yolk Wanda, the Yolk Probe. Wow, our very own cleaner has come to visit. Oh gosh, and I'm the first nano friend she'll see. Boy howdy, gotta keep it together. Remember my lines. Yolk Wanda, the Yolk Club. I hope she comes over here and presses Y to talk to me. Everyone in this is just so charming. Wander the Yolk Probe. Hey there, Nova. You shrunk inside the microscopic interior of the Yolk of Yummy, the most important yolk of the day. Here you'll find provisions to keep your future Glandilock seed happy and healthy. Nova will love our Centerberry Burst cereal because it contains trace amounts of 17 micronutrients in center recommended ratios. And Glandilock seed will love its patented crunchy tea cool taste. What if we had a Glandilock seed of our very own? Hey, never mind me. We may be talking a big game here in the Yolk of Yummy, but the development of delicious and nutritious crispy puffed comestibles is all we know. Oh.
Oops.
Hello.
Hello?
Hey Marina, how's it going?
It's going alright. How you doing?
Not too bad. Already pretty sleep deprived, but you know, getting through it and having a good time so far.
Sorry, you said you're already pretty sleepy?
Yeah, as is wont to do with these streams, I did not get a lot of sleep last night, so I kind of came into this already running on empty.
Oh no.
It's fine. It'll be fine. Nothing. Yeah. Well, I feel okay right now. We'll see how I feel in a couple hours, but yeah, I don't know.
It'll be like a 48-hour stream, but
yeah.
You're getting a head start.
I'm just preparing for one of them. I'm training right now.
Preparing for yeah.
For like a 48-hour stream.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. No, I would actually just die. I would just be a shriveled husk by the end of that.
I mean, that's why you watch a 24-hour live stream, isn't it? To see someone become a shriveled husk.
I assume so. I don't. I hope people are. I hope people find some entertainment out of my increased delirium. Remember last stream, got into a bunch of weird vegetable-related tangents around 12-hour point. Seems about on cue. Some sort of food-related shenanigans will really go down.
Yeah. I mean, I love a vegetable tangent. Also, I'm eating cereal, so I'm gonna maybe mute myself on and off, or let me know if you hear it and it's
no, you're
gross.
good. That's very on on cue for where I'm at in the game right
Oh
now.
yeah.
How
Uh,
crunchity cool is your cereal?
it's more like munchity,
Hmm.
which is ideal because it's like frosted shredded wheat, which it tastes the best when it's kind of has milk soaked up in it, you know.
Yeah, I have a habit of eating cereal too fast, so anytime I get the frosted or like the shredded wheat, it's always like I'm too impatient to wait for it to get to the right level
Oh yeah.
of like not just being like a, a rock of grain.
Yeah, it's kind of dangerous if you eat it too fast.
Yeah, no.
Because they're like so big and they're like a bale, well, eating a bale of hay.
Yeah, I'm much as I aspire to be, I don't have a cow's digestive system and it doesn't work out too great.
Um, have you ever eaten the like classic shredded wheat
Like the
that comes in like the huge brick?
I've not had the ones that are like the giant biscuits.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen them and they honestly terrify me a little bit. Like they're so big, they don't look like they should be cereal. Uh, I don't know
Yeah,
how I would approach one of those honestly.
I mean, you have to let it soak up, and then you take spoonfuls, chunks off of it, like it's like a slice of meatloaf, sort of.
It sounds a bit advanced for me, honestly. I'll have to work up to it.
Next level cereal.
Hmm.
Yeah, we should do one of those. What are those? Oh yeah, tier lists.
Hmm.
With like cereal by like how advanced of a cereal eater you need to be in order
Yeah.
to eat it.
I need like a skill cereal like skill tree that I have
Hmm.
to level up before I can work my way there.
Yeah, like it's gotta be like Cheerios are really easy because babies eat Cheerios.
That is true, but if you eat a Cheerio too fast, it can also mess you up. But maybe I'm just getting I get the Aldi Cheerios, which I feel like are a little hardier than like
Uh,
actual real
uh,
Cheerios.
yeah.
Um, they take a little prep to really get in the
Well,
proper state.
what are the Aldi Cheerios called
They're
these
called
days?
something just really generic like crispy oats or oat circles or something like that.
Tostios, maybe?
Toasty
Let's see.
oats. Yeah, I think toasty oats.
Aldi Cheerio brand. Oh yeah, they're called Crispy Oats.
Yeah. They're they're not my favorite honestly. They're I like sort of bland cereal cuz I like to
Mhm.
just put in my own stuff, but uh they're a bit too bland even for me compared to
Yeah.
regular Cheerios, which are I guess a little sweetened maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a lot of cereal thoughts on cereal. I've very important part of my life.
Yeah. Growing up, I was like really into like the generic brand names for things, and
Hmm.
like also like so currently Aldi brand cereal is Millville, but when I was a child, it was Breakfast Best.
Oh.
And at some point, they changed it over from Breakfast Best to Millville, and I remember that being like an event. Why did they change it? And I thought like I think there's like absolutely zero truth to this story, but like in my child brain, I was like maybe there was some kind of like scandal where someone got sick eating Breakfast Best cereal, so they changed it to Millville so people wouldn't have that association. But I'm pretty sure I just completely fabricated that.
I don't know. There's a lot of weird like Aldi lore, so
Yeah.
it wouldn't shock me. Um, I'm honestly just I always have to remember that Aldi didn't just like pop up like a couple years ago, because that's how it feels like it did. I remember when it first came to our town out here, it was kind of a big event, learning how to use the quarters and actually being able to afford food.
Yeah.
Because we don't have Trader Joe's out here either, so it was like our first exposure to that whole, I don't know, side of grocery stores.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of blew my mind because there was an Aldi like right by my house when I was growing up, and we'd go there a lot. But yeah, I think it has the same owners as Trader Joe's, and that
Yeah.
really blew my mind when I heard of it because they have really different vibes, especially like certain Aldis or I don't know, just older Aldis maybe. Um, had just a very, I mean, it's super different than Trader Joe's, the way they like present themselves
Hmm.
and what the priorities are, kind of.
Yeah. Well, what it was, I believe, is that they were like started by two brothers, and they split when one of them wanted to start selling uh, cigarettes, and the other did not. So that's why Trader Joe's has cigarettes and Aldi doesn't.
Oh,
Apparently, that
that's
was the
great.
split, and
Great
apparently,
lore.
yeah, apparently, the Trader Joe brother was kidnapped at one point and held for ransom. So now they're like super secretive and like almost never come out into the public.
Whoa.
A lot of weird stuff happening with the Trader Joe brothers.
It, yeah, I feel like it's kind of this meme to spell it like traitor, like betrayer,
Oh,
Trader
yeah.
Joe's. And that's kind of funny because it's like they're these like brothers who like hate each other. This is
Right.
the Trader Joe.
Mm-hmm. I'm imagining like an alternate world where Aldi just has like anti Trader Joe propaganda,
Uh,
like like they're running like attack ads on Trader Joe's.
yeah. What if yeah, it was like Trader Joe's and then Aldi was called like Faithful Tim's or something.
Oh my god, that would be pretty good. Merchant Matt. Uh, yeah. See, this is the type of like cyberpunk dystopia I want. Is just like feuding grocery store chains.
Yeah. Okay, so I literally just looked this up. So growing up, you know, you read the packaging and the pretzels or whatever will be like distributed by Aldi of Batavia.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I literally thought like Aldi was from some like I don't know Eastern European country or something. I was like, what's Batavia? It's Batavia is in Illinois.
Oh.
So I guess Aldi
Yeah.
is not just an exotic European company.
No, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. In my head, Aldi and IKEA are like next to each other.
Yeah, right?
I don't know why. It's just like that minimalist, like functional approach. Uh, but yeah, absolutely no relation. Just similar feelings, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's also just the four-letter name is very simple. The
hmm
branding is all geometric and modernist.
Yeah. I like the idea of having the shelf kind of that you bag on.
Mm-hmm.
That's a cool little spot in Aldi that I don't know if anyone anywhere else does that I've seen.
Yeah, no, uh I really like bringing my own bags. Not only just because of like the waste, but just cuz I'm very particular about my groceries, and I don't like people bagging them cuz they don't do a good enough job for me.
hmm
So yeah, I'm totally happy to just bag my own. So I wish more places. I guess, I mean, you get that with self-checkout, but Uh, I
Yeah,
I don't mind people scanning stuff because somehow the checkout machines for the associates are just somehow much better than the ones for self checkout people. At least it seems that way.
yeah. I mean, better in what way do you mean?
Like they seem to be able to just scan it like instantly versus I'm over here like fumbling a package and trying to get it to ring up.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think they're just more sensitive. And it's probably like a I don't know. I don't actually know what purpose it would do because it wouldn't change like the like ability to like steal something or whatever because you're still scanning it. So I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know if people are rougher with them or because they're being handled by just like any random person, they use like cheaper models or something.
Hmm.
Um, Whereas, cashiers go through extensive training to hold a scanning gun.
It's a very dangerous object. You gotta be. You don't want to
Um,
point it at anybody. You might hurt someone.
yeah. I feel like sometimes it's always the worst when there's a self checkout, but they're really like suspicious about it in the
Hmm.
software. So it's always trying to like catch you doing something. And it's like, if I was gonna do something bad, why would I like do it with the software? Why wouldn't I just put it in my backpack? Like, I'm like trying to use your system.
Yeah,
So why are you making all these like checks and like things that are like assuming that I'm acting in ill intent when I'm like using the system involved.
it's like, did you really put the chips in the bag? Did you
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Show me the chips.
uh,
I like how
but
now if you like put some bags down, it'll ask you like, did you bring your own bags? Like, are you trying to sneak something onto here? What's this weight? Uh,
yeah.
so suspicious.
Yeah. It gets so mad at you when you try to use
Mm-hmm.
it's like, don't worry about it. I'm scanning stuff. You shouldn't be paying any more attention to me.
Yeah, it's chill actually. Don't worry. Everyone can see me.
um,
Yeah, I
and
remember.
also, like, if someone's stealing something, then I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's totally fine. Honestly, half of it's getting thrown out. I love this dude with the socks. I like this dude with the hat too. I've forgotten all of these characters and I love them so much.
Yeah, that the character with the hat is several of the Anodyne 2 stock NPCs are specifically based on I had my own line of Pokemon that I drew in a sketchbook when I was 8 years old.
Oh my gosh,
And so I used those as concept art for Anodyne 2.
so good.
Yeah, that's why the things that look like Geodude with pants were one of my Pokemon. Although the original was Geodude kind of on like a
I see it now.
cart, sort of.
That's so good. I like the other one's just a little shrunk down. Little
That's the,
Geodude pants. Also good. A very good day game. I know I've mentioned that a few times, but I like this dude
Thank
too.
you.
I don't know which Pokemon this is based off of, but
Oh, the mall.
the mole tuber. All right, the
It's
video.
so funny. This is such like a. I feel like that texture I just like was placeholder, and I just never really finished it.
Good.
It's such a janky texture.
This dude with the tube socks is my favorite though, for sure.
Yeah.
Incredible look.
If you're gonna wear one article of clothing,
Gotta be your
make it
socks.
tube socks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, who are you? I forgot about you. Oh, right, this dude. Average boy.
It kind of makes me think of I don't even remember the line up with the kid telling you about the teleportation when you
Oh,
fall in
right,
the water.
yeah, the cycles of
I
life.
think Melos wrote that.
Very deep
um,
average boy.
yeah, you know what's funny is like a lot of the like boy NPCs Melos wrote, which is like really funny because it fits his writing style well. It's just like weird little boy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like slightly antagonistic. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the dolphin reminds me of like like magazines telling you about how to like dress for your figure or like
Mm-hmm.
your heart-shaped face or whatever.
Right.
And it's like if you have legs like that, they're just like tailor-made for tube socks.
Yeah. I mean, what else could you possibly? You just wasting your legs at that point.
Yeah. Dress for your figure.
Or for the job you want. I hear that too. I don't know what tube socks is like. What is the job of the person that wears tube socks exclusively? Be like roller
Hmm.
derby.
Yeah, or like dad.
Or dad. Dad or roller derby. Those are the two jobs for
Mhm.
tube stack aficionados.
The two genders.
Good. These transitions are one of my favorite things. I don't know what exactly it reminds me of. Um, I find it very, very appealing.
Thank you. Yeah, like the flying through the tube part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really wanted something like that because that's so. I feel like that's so early 3D.
Mm-hmm.
It just, for whatever reason, like flying through a tube. Maybe because it's like, it's something that's very specifically kind of hard to depict in 2D graphics. That it's like so exciting. That it's like, oh, we can make 3D art now? Let's do flying through a tube. It's like pure perspective, you know?
Yeah, no, I remember we had like a Mr. Gaddy's here that had a little arcade in the back. I don't know if Mr. Gaddy's exists outside of Tennessee, but it's like this family pizza place. And it had this little arcade in the back, and they had, I don't know what the game was, but it was like a racing game in like a tunnel, like that you go around like 360. And I thought it was just like, it was transcendent to me as a kid. I was just like, I can't believe you could do this. Spinning around in this tube. What more could you want?
Yeah.
I wish I could find that game. I have no idea what it is. I remember playing the third Jack and Daxter game, and it has a section that's kind of like that. Um, and it was like a. I don't even know how I feel about that game, but just the having that tiny. I've just been fascinated by tubes. I think that's what I'm discovering. I also really liked
Yeah.
that the game Dyad that came out a little while ago. That was like a Tempest
Oh yeah.
successor. I never played Tempest. I should probably check out Tempest. I might like that.
Um,
Lime.
I feel like my formative gaming tubes were
What a sentence.
there were there were definitely parts in uh what's that game called? Rebel Alliance
Hmm.
of like flying through 2D sort of tube
Oh,
shaped areas or
was that the one that had like
live action cutscenes.
yes. Oh my god. That game it was so hard for me growing up. Like I
Yeah.
it honestly scared me a little. Like it was very
Oh yeah.
intense,
Oh yeah.
but I played the shit out of that. I always got stuck on the flying ones because they were so fast.
Mm-hmm.
They were
Yeah,
also
they
my
were like
favorite parts when you're like in the Millennial Falcon and like have to dodge up and down pipes.
I really appreciate that you just said the Millennial Falcon because it's like um the Gen Z Falcon.
Oh right, yeah. I see. I'm a fake Star Wars fan. I don't know anything. The Millennium Falcon feels right to me. So that's my
Yeah, it's
story.
Millennium.
That's my story, and that's what I'm gonna stick with.
um, but yeah, Rebel Salt. Well, specifically Rebel Salt 2 is the one
Right.
that has the live action. But yeah, it's very like it's kind of like things are kind of jumpy. Like it's a little hard to do the kind of like space combat and flying stuff because like with the way the pre-rendered art works, it's like things don't move around really smoothly, and yet you
Mm-hmm.
still have to like be doing these twitch reactions to stuff.
Yeah, I
Um,
remember it being very. We had like a really cheap joystick that I kept trying to make work with it, like a flight stick.
yeah,
I
yeah.
never managed to, but that probably didn't help by trying to control it. Just because I felt like that was
Mm-hmm.
the coolest thing, be able to use a flight stick on it. I could never even get it to map correctly, so I would just be pushing random buttons and hoping something would happen.
Yeah.
But played so much of that. I remember always losing the second disc, so I would get to the end of the first one and it would just stop immediately and just like ask for the second disc. It's like, oh, I don't. It's around here somewhere, hiding under something.
Oh no.
Weird thinking about when games came on multiple discs. I know I used
Yeah.
to get some that were like 3 or 4 discs, which just blew my mind coming from consoles where it was just like you have one disc, maybe 2 if you get something really wild on the GameCube. But
Yeah.
uh, yeah, the idea of inserting multiple discs was pretty extreme for me. I thought it was just the coolest thing. He's like, oh, this has 4 discs, it must be better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is pretty wild to think about. Now it's just one disc, and then you like download half the game off the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Or you just get a slip of paper and that's about that's about it. This is
yeah.
your disc.
Um, yeah, we had Final Fantasy VII for the PC,
Mm-hmm.
and it comes in its like giant case with like all the discs like spread out.
Yeah. Did you ever have like the? I don't know who put them out, but they would come in like in binders basically, where they would have like discs on both sides with like little descriptions about the games and stuff. And I would always mix them up because they were all just these orange binders that had discs inside of them, and the discs were like not labeled hardly at all. It just had like tiny text. It was like, this is on this disc. Those would just be everywhere in our house. I want to say they were put out like by Broderbund, someone. I think that's how I played the Zumbinis and Carmen Sandiego games.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know
I
where
know
we
what you're
got
talking
them
about.
from. No, they just came in like these giant orange binders, and there'd be like 2 games on each disc. Just. I know the Carmen Sandiegos were a lot of them, and the Zubinis was the one I played the most.
Zumbini's rocks.
It's really
What a good
good.
game.
It's so good. I need to. Someday I'll write my Zubinis as like a anti-colonialist text thesis, but
Uh-huh.
someday. That game
Yeah.
is surprisingly dark. I did not pick up on any of it as a kid because I was like, oh, puzzles, I like those.
Yeah.
That game goes some places. I haven't played the remake yet, but I would like to check that out at some point.
Yeah, same. Do you remember if it ever oh no, you're just stuck on the staircase.
Yeah, I forgot this dude. Forgot the big boy.
Yeah. Um the does it ever clarify it's like they start out in captivity. Does it show like who is responsible?
They like come on ship and are like kind of like shown in silhouettes. I don't think it actually
Uh
shows anything explicit.
yeah.
It shows them like living happily, and then it's like the whoever came and enslaved them.
Mhm.
They come on like 1800 like sailboats.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. I was treating this like a side scroller, and I was like, "This." I
Yeah.
don't remember there being like 2D side scrolling in this. This house is also really good. I forgot. There's a lot of good parts in this, and I know I just keep saying that, but it's a good ass game. That's my season.
Thank you. I just realized that I also just made some of these dark paneled wood walls
Hmm.
in our next game. Spoiler, there will be an appearance of the dark paneled wood walls.
Oh, good. I will look out for my favorite texture.
Which, like, I mean, they're just incredibly evocative to me.
Hmm.
Um,
I mean, this just looks like my living room growing up. Honestly,
yeah.
but I guess makes sense with also the lampshade. It's just 70s decor taken to it's a logical conclusion.
It's logical, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna tweet about this again because I'm on stream now. Um, is is there should
Hmm?
right, I was just looking at the Streamlabs site, but I realized you can also look at the Twitch.
Yeah, I put a link below as well. I think the Streamlabs embeds the stream below. I don't honestly know how it works. This is my first time using it. But
Yeah.
seems to be working because somebody donated earlier and it went through and got the little notification. So yeah, it seemed last time I was just having people donate independently and like send in receipts to track, and I don't know, it felt like it might be easier to just give them one link and a button to hit. My
Yeah.
impression.
Um, yeah, I'm like wondering which one it makes sense to point people towards, because if it's the Streamlabs one, then you don't like see the Twitch chat
Oh
or
yeah, you'd have
anything.
to. Yeah, I mean, I think
You
either is fine. There's a link right below the Twitch stream anyway, so if they go to the
yeah, you
Twitch
can
page, they can just click on that.
go
Um,
either way.
mhm.
I mean, probably people can figure it out.
I believe
Whichever
in
one you
people.
start it, yeah,
Yeah,
you can head to the other one.
they'll find their ways. They know how to use a hyperlink. Alrighty, I am gonna run to the bathroom and I'll be right back.
Right. Okay, now I'm actually on the Twitch. Oh, I just tweeted about this and now it's easy with that. uh, how's everyone doing today? Anyone in the chat currently? It's a beautiful spring day. It was extremely hot and warm yesterday, and I'm like kind of recovering from being out in the hot sun for a very long time after not getting a lot of sleep the night before. So I'm very tired, kind of have a headache, but it's a nice day out. Just chilling. How many times am I going to make the dark wood paneled walls in a video game? 3 times so far. Perhaps more in the future. Probably more in the future. Pretty sure every game should have it. Does anyone have fun plans for this weekend? Alrighty. Did I do anything cool this weekend? Let's see. Talking with my mom and dad. That'll be interesting. Has anyone played Sparkles and Gems? It's very good. Play Sparkles and Gems. I'm gonna drop this in the chat. Sparkles and Gems. is part like a breakout style game and part visual novel. And it has these amazing pre-rendered 3D graphics, which is just extremely my jam. The sound and the way everything like looks and feels is just very sparkly and sharp and fun, bouncy. And that's my favorite game that I've played recently.
All right. I am back and I am hydrated and my kitties are fed.
I haven't
So,
played too many games recently, besides Tinder, which is this it's kind of like has this like online massively multiplayer component. Uh, oh hi Nate.
hello. Yeah, sorry. I realized I was talking and I realized my Discord mic was muted. Um,
Yeah, what were you saying? Did you hear me describing the video game that I'm currently playing?
the video game Tinder. Yeah, I've played that one. I I don't know. I don't know. Not my game of the year, personally. Needs some work.
No, need some work. They need to um buff my finding wonderful connections stat and nerf my people being mean to me. Just kidding. People aren't mean to me on Tinder.
Yeah, I would like
But if they were, then they should be nerfed.
just nerf them right away. Yeah, I would like if they would do some community management. I feel like they've kind of let some there's too many Republicans on my instance.
Oh
I
no.
need to change servers or something, I guess.
Yeah. There are too many influencers on my Tinder.
Oh yeah, I can't deal with the influencers.
I mean, I don't know if they're necessarily influencers, but just like the type of like photo vibes
Yeah,
and like
if I see someone like posing with a skydiving photo or some sort of endangered animal, that's usually beans. Usually a bad sign.
yeah.
Don't hit the times.
Um, I was also talking about the other game that I was playing recently, which is Sparkles and Gems. Have you heard of that?
No, is that the puzzle game that I feel like I might have seen something about that, but might be like something else.
Is that the what game, did you say?
I feel like I've seen like it sounds like a. Is it like a puzzle game, like a match 3 style game, or might be thinking something
Oh,
different?
it has like match 3 elements, but it's more of like a breakout type game than a puzzle game. With like, you have a paddle and you bounce the ball up and hit things.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I must be thinking of something different.
Yeah.
That sounds good though.
Yeah, I really liked it. It's like it has a really strong aesthetic with like this like pre-rendered 3D graphics
Oh,
and
that's my jam.
yeah, and all the like sound effects and everything are like just like really perfect and like sparkly and it kind of has this it has like a story mode and a kind of like more of like an arcade mode. And in the story mode, it's like a lot of it is just like a visual novel
Mm-hmm.
about this kind of like lovable cast of kind of weirdo queer. There's just like there's this like horse. There's like a business horse who's really into business,
That
and
makes sense.
yeah, a ferret. and the business horse's brother is like, I don't know, like the satanic horse or something. It's like has uh like a pentagram and like is like black, and the yeah, so they don't get along really well.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds
But
like a hard time when you got like a devil brother. You know, what can you do?
yeah, I mean the devil horses aren't super like market friendly.
Mm-hmm. And it's gonna really hurt your brand.
Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah,
the game was really fun.
I've mostly been playing um, really tiny little itch games. Played a
Mm.
lot of Freya Campbell's like Twine Bitsy mashups recently, and those are all really
Uh,
really good. If you haven't played them, my favorite right now is Super Lunary, which is like a space, like a slow space. Um, I don't know how to describe it. It's like all the quiet moments of like a Star Trek or a Mass Effect, where you're just walking around the ship and talking to people. But it's all done in like Twine and Bitsy put together. Uh, it's a really chill time. It made me realize that uh, the parts I like about Mass Effect are better served by games that aren't Mass Effect. Uh,
yeah.
which yeah, that game's been in the consciousness again, so I've been thinking about it and happened to play this at the same time. Like actually, hey people, maybe you should play this little Twine Bitsy game instead of
Nice.
the space cop simulator.
Um, yeah, Mass Effect. I played the first one a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of funny things about it. I feel like I played I can't remember if I played it after or before. I think I played it after I played KOTOR.
Hmm.
Um, and I remember thinking like, oh, this is weird that they just like used. It kind of felt like they were like doing the same thing that was like built around the Star Wars universe, but then like making a different universe. Well,
Mm-hmm.
mainly just the biotics were like, this is just like force powers. They made
Yeah.
like a different name for it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah. I've tried to play KOTOR several times and always end up bouncing off of it within the first like hour or two. I think I just
Yeah,
struggle with RPGs in general, or at least the
it's
ones.
very overwhelming at the beginning, especially those kinds of games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think overall, I liked KOTOR more than Mass Effect 1.
I've heard.
It seemed like, yeah,
Yeah, people tell me that KOTOR 2 is the one I should try, because even though it's all janky and unfinished, it seems to do interesting things, or at least different things than you would expect.
yeah,
Forgot about the worms. The worms are also really good.
yeah, the code, oh.
Faces on these. Sorry, I'm distracted by the worms.
Yeah, the faces, I found like a really disturbing, like deep, kind of like ancient internet feeling like photo of like a person I don't know. I feel like it was like photoshopped so that their face was like kind of mixed with a pig. But like it was hard to tell because it was like a low quality photo. Like what's going on? All I know is this scares me. That
It's
was kind of
definitely
inspiration.
it's definitely a look. I like that it kind of just looks like it's drawn onto like a beach ball or something.
Yeah. Uh, it's really like I don't know. It's so strange because like I don't feel like I could make something this janky again. Like it literally it worked out because I was just learning how to do 3D. But
Mm-hmm.
now I'd be like, it hurts too much.
I love the jank. I want more jank. Um,
Yeah. I really do feel like we have to keep like doing new things
mhm.
or else the like it becomes too easy to not be janky and too comfortable to just be like, okay, now I'm just executing the skill that I have.
Right. Got to be authentic jank because you just don't know how to do something or just working something out.
Yeah. It's like next we'll do too bad there's not like more visual dimensions. If we could do like 4D graphics, then I could live in that jank again.
Yeah, you gotta get one of those like prototype smell simulators. You can start adding smell effects to
Mhm.
your games. Um,
Wow, this is such a janky smell.
yeah, what's a janky smell? It's
I can tell that they were going for beef, but it smells like veal.
yeah. I feel like janky smells is like the smell of like a microwaved veggie hot dog, like something that just doesn't feel. It just smells wrong, like something just got messed up. Um,
Yeah. That's a good example.
it's a very specific smell that it's just like burned into my memory because I don't like it at all. But
That's really funny. I just had a veggie hot dog yesterday.
they're definitely better than
It's
they used to be.
yeah. They're not that good though.
No.
It's kind of a bummer. Um, like other veggie meats have progressed a lot and are very
Mm-hmm.
good. Veggie hot dogs really don't capture hot dog.
No.
I mean, even just like I feel like they even just like should be saltier, and then that would do a lot. Like if they just had a little more salty, smoky flavor, then at least they would have some kind of presence over the like contrasting with the condiments.
Yeah, they always feel like I can never get them to not feel uncooked. Like it always feels like I've just pulled it out of the fridge cold and it's just this limp, bad fake meat stick. Like
Yeah, I think
it never has the like good like char factor of a hot dog.
yeah. I think part of the problem with the veggie hot dog is that they have a kind of split market focus, at least in terms of how they advertise them. Because it seems like they're always trying to sell them both to vegetarians and to health conscious people. And
Hmm.
so it's like they kind of like want to ensure that they are not only not meat, but also like really like low sodium, low fat, whatever.
Yeah, which I feel like is it's interesting because the most of the like meat substitutes now have just taken the opposite approach and are just like, yeah, actually, we're just gonna make
Yeah,
this just as bad for you as regular
yeah,
meat. We're just gonna make it out of something we grew in a lab. Um, which I mean is neither
It
here nor
tastes
there for
good.
me. Like, yeah, it's like if I'm gonna eat a burger or a hot dog, like I know what I'm signing up for. I know I'll regret it,
Uh-huh.
but like, give me this. Just let me enjoy this this moment. Let me enjoy my trash, please.
Yeah, I mean, I think uh wait, what's interesting about veggie burgers is like there's a lot of different accepted ways to go about making something burger-esque.
Right.
Like you can make it very much like a burger, or you can just make it like a burger-shaped thing that
Yeah.
has like a variety of different like veggies and stuff, and that's like still a satisfying eating experience.
Mhm.
Um, but veggie dogs, like there's not really like a dog shaped thing that's like just made out of like black beans and quinoa or whatever.
Right. Yeah. I feel like I need one of those charts that is like the burger purist, ingredient
Oh yeah.
purist charts for
Uh-huh.
different types of veggie burgers.
Yeah.
'Cause, yeah, I was at a Kroger the other day. Um, that was a thank you anonymous for the $10 donation. I was at Kroger and I was looking in like the fake meat aisle because I normally go to Aldi and they don't have all that much. But all that they
Mhm.
had was just more burgers. It's just like I would like something different, please. I have mini burgers. Um, Goodness,
Yeah.
I forgot about this room. Um, yeah, it's surprisingly hard to find. Um, I was really hoping to get like a fake chicken that wasn't like a variation of chicken nuggets, but mostly that's what you find. It's just very,
Yeah, if it's not breaded and fried, it's hard to do a fake chicken.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, what would the alignment be? Because it could be on one axis, like ingredient
It'd be like ingredient purist on one side and like, uh,
healthiness, sort of like how how kind of I don't know
I feel
what the
like
opposite of
no, I feel
yeah.
like because you made a point is there's like a lot of ways to do a burger, and I feel like
Hmm.
it's like a I don't know if it's like shape purist or like burger purist, like on the like far left side would be like a Beyond meat burger or whatever, where it's like this is basically trying to be like the most ordinary type of burger you can, shaped like a burger, tastes like a burger. Um, and then on the other side would be like trying to think of what even would be like an ingredient anarchist, or I forget what the how the axes go, but
Yeah.
it'd be something like something on a chip is a burger or something. uh, Probably more rebellious than that.
I mean, this is just turning into the whole sandwich thing
Yeah,
again.
no, it is the same thing of like it is a hot dog and sandwich argument, but this one has a Virgin Impossible Burger versus Chad Portobello. Yeah, Portobello is a yeah, that's on the ingredient. A stuffed portobello mushroom is on the like the rebel ingredient rebel burger axes.
Oh, okay. Here's what I think it should. Yeah, like that gives me the idea where on one it's like ingredient purist versus ingredient rebel, and that's just like beef versus I don't know chicken or veggies or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then like on the other axis is kind of like how much like I guess like how much it captures like a sort of sense of that kind of like indescribable quality of like boldness or whatever, the like the strength of a burger.
Strength of a burger. How strong is its burger? Like the essence of a burger. How much does it align with that?
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of it is
Versus
like the visual aspect of like, is it in the shape of a burger? Which I mean, I feel like at some point now, hot dog becomes a burger on this chart. I don't know where along. I don't know where along the lines. Probably not very far over. It'd probably be like into the essence or like the nature of a burger, like a bit down on that, but it's still like an ingredient purist.
there should be a chart that is kind of take into account the aspect ratio of the bun.
Right. This is a widescreen bun. If it's widescreen, it doesn't count.
Hot dogs are just ultra wide burgers.
Yeah, it's my like 39 by 16. I don't even know what the aspect ratio is, but I need my like curved ultra wide bun, which would be like a croissant.
Well, I didn't even know you could go that way.
I forgot about the tongue boy.
But yeah, I feel like I was kind of thinking like there should be one that's in between the square burger and the thin hot dog, and I'm like, actually that's kind of like po' boys are sort of in there. The kind of like Italian beef sandwich, you know.
Oh, thank you for the
Or like
donation, Anonymous. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, no, thank you. But yeah, po' boys and Italian beef, the kind of like French dip sandwiches are kind of in that in between.
So, what
aspect
about if
ratio.
you what about if you're making like a lettuce sandwich? Like, where does that fall into here? Does that even count as a bun?
Oh, I was like, you mean a bun with lettuce in between? That sounds bad.
No.
But yeah, the lettuce.
Oh yeah, just bread and lettuce.
Yeah. I forgot about eating sandwich or like a burger with lettuce around it.
That's just a veggie sandwich.
Ooh, someone using.
Hello. Someone's.
Hello.
Hello, Shane. You're here for the burger discourse.
Yeah. And I caught the tail end.
We're assembling. You know those alignment charts that are like something purist, something radical. We're doing that for burgers based on its ingredients and its essence, the essence of a burger.
I see.
And or possibly its aspect ratio.
Yeah, the bun aspect ratio. That's like the z-axis.
Oh, that's what you're saying about hot dogs and such.
It's a three-dimensional chart.
So with the lettuce, it depends on whether it's the slice of iceberg lettuce. Iceberg is the hamburger of lettuce bun, and romaine is the hot dog of lettuce bun.
What if you were to just get like the shredded lettuce that they put on like Subway sandwiches and just made like a blanket of that? I mean, besides being an affront to God, where would that fall on the axis?
I mean, isn't that a salad and not a sandwich then?
Well, see, but is it a salad if you do it on like the top and the bottom? So it's like, and so like imagine, God, this is dark, but imagine you have like your bed of lettuce and you put your patty on top and then you cover it with more lettuce and you just somehow pick that up and eat it.
Don't they make sandwiches like that? Like instead of a bun, it's like lettuce.
Yeah, but I'm talking
Something.
like just shredded
Nate's talking
lettuce.
about like a shredded pile of lettuce.
Oh,
Not like a piece.
What if you-
the kind that they put on your burger at like a Subway or something, where it's just like thin little nothing strips.
what if you froze the shredded lettuce into like a frozen patty of shredded
Yeah,
lettuce
blocked.
buns?
That would be interesting. Or it's suspended it in jelly, like those like old 50s recipes.
Oh god, that's very very cursed image. Yeah, nothing.
I have an answer for you though, Nate.
Okay.
Okay, so if it's just a pile of lettuce and then like a burger and then another pile of lettuce on top, then it's like a burger for the moment, but like the instant you try to eat it and everything falls everywhere, then it becomes a salad.
Okay, it's
Mm.
the impermanence of life represented
Yeah.
in a
It's a
burger.
dynamic food.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Schrodinger's burger. It can be both a burger and not a burger. At any given point.
Yeah, instead of like when the particle is observed, it changes behavior. It's like when the burger is eaten, it becomes not a burger.
Yeah, as soon as you acknowledge the burger, it no longer becomes a burger.
Yeah. I don't know if we've met, Shane. I'm Marina.
Oh, I'm Shane. You might know my friend April. I think you two met.
Oh, in Twin Cities?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Well, that's weird that there's two Twin Cities people on the call right.
Oh, thank
Oh
you
yeah.
for
Are
the
you still in the
donation,
Twin Cities?
Colin.
Yeah, I live in the Twin Cities.
Oh. Can't wait for stuff to start popping up again. Conventions and events and things.
Yeah. Slowly.
I'm still, even though I've been able to get the vaccine now, so I feel secure in that, but I still have just so much social anxiety for being scared of crowds for like 18 months now. So, like even the idea of being able to go to one of those is still kind of terrifying, even without like the threat of dying.
Yeah, definitely to a degree.
I know a lot of people are feeling that way. I'm actually kind of feeling like I'm totally ready.
Yeah, I think my want to see people in like in mass again outweighs any like worries, I guess. Now that it's safe. Or
Yeah, I say that, but if I had the opportunity to go to a concert, I would go immediately. It doesn't even matter who it is. I just want to dance live music again.
Mhm. Also, I want to acknowledge in the chat, Derivative's grandfather used to eat cabbage sandwiches.
Oh,
And I'm
what?
very curious.
So yeah, is that
Yeah, like, was it a pile of shredded cabbage? Was it a slice of cabbage as the bun? Or was the filling cabbage?
was it one of those? Was it shredded cabbage? And he did what? He created the cursed sandwich that isn't a sandwich. You know the.
what if it was cabbage bun with shredded cabbage in the middle, like a burger?
Oh, just complete cabbage.
And then like relish or something as well as a spice.
Coleslaw.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just all the
Col-
forms.
coleslaw on the side.
God. A truly terrifying image. to Think about. Cat has decided to join. Gonna get into the God or not.
Get cat for a bit.
Yeah, I need to make this chart now. It feels important.
We'll see if you remember anything like hours into the stream.
Yeah, this will be the this is the mystery game. Is actually we just make a chart about burger alignments. So yeah, tune in at midnight for that, I guess.
I have to finish Anodyne too, so I played the first one this year for the first time.
Oh, cool. How'd you like it?
It was really cool. I think I played it right a bit after I played Yume Nikki for the first time this year as well. So it's like seeing kind of complementary kind of stuff.
Yeah, totally. That's what I hear. I actually have never played Humanity. I definitely would like to. I think Melos had played it though.
Yeah, there's definitely a similar vibe there, so that's interesting.
For a 2003 game, it very holds up.
I've not
Yeah.
played it, but I've watched people play it, and I feel like I've played it just because it's existed like adjacent to me for a long time. I haven't played the first Anodyne in a long time, but maybe go back to it because I definitely played it at a time when I didn't understand, I guess, what indie games were, or like the games were things that weren't just like I don't know, sort of derivative AAA stuff. I was also like 16, so you know, tastes are teenagers don't have good tastes. I wanted to go back to it. We did Even the Ocean for. Do I have 4? I do. We did Even the Ocean for our game book club. I guess it would have been months ago or so. That was a good time. Very different sort of feel than either of the Anodynes. It was interesting.
Yeah. Very different.
I also really like the characters in that. The dude, the one that stands out to me the most is the kid that just really wants to be a good gate operator, and he isn't allowed to use the gate, but he never learns. And yeah, I feel you. I feel you, kid. Good time.
Yeah, Melis and I were trying to think about what we should do for our studio's 10-year anniversary.
Oh wow.
Which is coming up next year.
Is there any more platforms that your games aren't on? Port it back to the PlayStation 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about like clearly there are a lot of platforms that they aren't on that run Doom. That's the whole meme. We got a calculator and whatnot. Microwave.
Yeah, I
Have
want
you-
the that N64 version of Anodyne 2 to become a reality. Very good. I think about that. The very disgruntled Steve viewer.
I forget. Oh, sorry. What?
Oh, I was gonna ask if you've done stuff with Super Rare before. I can remember.
Let's see. I don't think we've done stuff with Super Rare. We've done stuff with Yeti, like physical. And And currently we're doing some stuff with limited run.
Oh, limited run. That's another one. Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm still eagerly awaiting the Anodyne 2 vinyl that come out a little while ago. I don't know when those are planning to be released, but it's very pretty, so I hope
Oh
eventually.
yeah,
I know
it's
everything's
pretty exciting.
held up right now, but very
Oh,
excited to see.
I mistook super rare for limited run. I did not mean super rare.
Okay.
I think that's NFT stuff. Never mind.
Oh no, there's also that's a different than super rare games. I also
Oh,
just googled it and I saw the NFT thing and I was like, that's not the one. There's a different one.
super rare game. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There's two.
Shane, do you make games with April or just know each other from around?
I have and a little bit recently, but more so like stuff on my own lately.
Yeah.
So we have a little project we're gonna be working on here soon for
Oh,
Haunted
cool.
PS1.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What's it gonna be about?
I don't know if we can say. I don't know if it's public
Mm,
yet or not.
secret.
Yeah, kind of secret, but has to do with like a movie, a horror movie.
That
Well,
narrows it down.
Yeah.
do you have any non-secret things that you're working on?
There was a game jam, a very yellow game jam game that I made in April last year that I'm somewhat expanding a little bit.
Cool.
Forgot about this dude too. Like armadillo looking.
Oh yeah.
Banjo Kazooie character.
Those two, I'm like, it's so funny to me. I'm like, those two characters were totally, I was totally gonna like finish their placeholder textures and just didn't.
I just love that they're just standing there. Like they look like they're about to do something really important. They're in like an action pose and they're just chatting. Oh, this one too. This weird float. Oh, they're not floating. They're just kind of vibing. Puzzle possessed me. Oh.
They're doing that like pose where you're like explaining something, you put your hands in front of you. It was this big or something.
Good. I like vibe.
Crab horse. With the little mole and the little armadillo thing. Those were. I was like, those two specifically were me testing out like the way that they animate is a single bone that's just deforming and they just kind of like squish around. And
oh yeah, I see. They're just kind of, you know, this. I mean, this. What this reminds me of is honestly, how VeggieTales animates.
yeah.
Where they just kind of squish and expand.
Are they sitting or standing?
Yeah. God. I appreciate that I can look back on VeggieTales with people now. Nobody used to understand. I feel very seen.
VeggieTales callbacks. I was tweeting about VeggieTales recently because I watched like someone just did a supercut of like jokes they liked from VeggieTales, and there were like 5 jokes about the IRS or taxes.
There's a lot of them, yeah. It's pretty good.
I have a question. Was VeggieTales always Christian, or like were parts of it like religious? I don't remember.
Yeah.
It's like a blank spot in my mind.
Yeah, it always started out as like a Christian. Like most of the episodes are like just Bible stories, but with vegetables and
Yeah.
jokes. But its like trajectory is weird because it gets progressively less Christian centric as it goes along. I want to say that they sold it to another just general kids company and took out most of the Christian imagery, but they might have added it back. I have not followed VeggieTales in years.
Yeah,
Not from the lore.
I remember seeing it on TV at some point, and they had definitely like toned down the explicitly Christian stuff, and were trying to make it more just about like kind of positive messages or whatever.
Yeah, I don't think they end every episode of like a Bible verse now.
But yeah, originally it was kind of like usually each episode would be like a sort of a variety show where there'd be like a Bible story, a kind of like regular life story, and like some other funny things intercut.
Yeah, it's funny to think about how it was like a structured like an advice like parable thing, because it would be like kids would send in like fake kids would send in like problems that they had, and they're just like, oh, I've got a story for this, and then it would tell a Bible story, and then you'd have an
Holy shit! Yeah,
you'd have
You
an
say fake
intermission.
kids?
Hmm?
Did you say fake kids?
fake kids.
Yeah, fake.
I mean, they would like get letters.
Mhm.
Like Bob and Larry would read like a kid asking for advice, I think.
Yeah,
But it was
they would
probably
get,
just
like,
written. It wasn't like real.
Yeah, no, they probably didn't actually just get spontaneous letters and they're like, all right, here we go. I know what we're gonna do for our next.
But that
episode.
does make me think that Bob and Larry should have like a Patreon sponsored podcast.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's yeah, I mean that's. I'm honestly I would be shocked if there's not like a VeggieTales podcast of some sort. Kind of scared to look into it, but that seems like something that probably exists. But yeah, they would get like they would get emails because they had QWERTY, the computer that would also tell them the Bible verses. So yeah, they were emails in like the early like late 90s, early 2000s, so cutting edge stuff.
Yeah, derivative. I have also heard that that lore that I think actually the creator was talking to his mom or something and was like, "Do you have any advice for my Christian vegetable show?" And she said, "Don't make a Jesus vegetable. That would be disrespectful."
That's interesting.
I remember so clearly they did a like Lord of the Rings parody, and I remember so explicitly at the end, Larry is like, I hope we didn't offend anyone. Like it seemed like there was real concern that because they had like
because it's like violent and stuff.
I think it's because they had like elves and other like fantasy creatures. I don't know if Gandalf or his allegory was still like a wizard or just like a fireworks person, but I remember there being some like the thinnest of controversies around it.
Oh my god. There's a really good line. It's not good. But you know how Bilbo says at his party, he's like, I feel stretched like butter scraped across too much bread or something.
Yeah.
In Lord of the Beans, the Bilbo character says, I feel stretched like chocolate pudding scraped across too much ham.
God. A bit of like my family lore is that to this day, my brothers will just randomly start going into the Umbrella song. A random character does, and just ask me, what are you doing here? Just anytime, I'll just enter the house randomly and they'll just start into it. It has just become part of our communication mode, I guess.
Yeah.
It's really wild.
VeggieTales is part of your vernacular.
Honestly, like, it's, yeah, it was very big in our household.
It's funny how, we have like family memes Before like memes were a thing, there were family memes.
Yeah, it's my homegrown memes.
Yeah, just mom and pop memes that are just getting put out of business by big social media.
Yeah, this is what meme code doesn't want you to know.
Yeah.
I feel like
Board
Meme
camp.
unions.
I feel like I'm lost right now as well. I've been ready in circles. I forgot what I was supposed to do.
Wait, open your menu.
Have we established how much of a delay there is on the stream?
It
Yeah,
should
it's
be.
like
I don't think it's very long.
yeah, like 5 seconds or something.
Yeah, I have like a low latency. Oh wait.
Oh yeah, I think you just need dust.
Okay.
Um, you
Isn't
just
that
have to grind dust somewhere, I think.
okay? I did it in like the opposite order where I didn't go back to the sitter, so I didn't get to empty my vacuum.
Did you look at the one behind the buildings? There's like a sewer.
Yeah, the
something,
worms.
something.
Yeah, I went
Yeah.
to the worms. I like them.
The lady with the lamps.
I think I have all the. I think I have all the cards. I think, yeah, just gotta get that dust.
Yeah, there's a bunch of it's bringing back memories of my family memes. There was this toy at Aldi. We were talking about Aldi earlier. You know how like Aldi, yeah, they have a very like interesting inventory that like cycles. Like there's like the like
Aldi
specifically
finds, yeah.
stuff in the middle of the store, like switches.
Yeah.
And once there was this it was like a motorcycle guy toy with different catchphrases if you press a button. And one of them was like, ride to live, live to ride. And that, so we just like say that to each other. My siblings and I.
Very good. Most of ours were just, they were either VeggieTales or SpongeBob, or some like cursed combination thereof.
Veggie Bob. Yeah, SpongeBob. What if SpongeBob became a Christian?
That feels like that doesn't. Oh, I am sure there is like some really cursed, like you know those like motivational, the ones that are just like minions memes with random quotes on them. I'm sure those exist, but with VeggieTales people, just like random, or SpongeBob, but just like random Bible verses and motivational quotes and stuff over them. I don't know if you're familiar with these minion pages.
Rob says, "Don't covet your neighbor's wife."
I look at them sometimes and I'm just really feeling hopeless. Need some way to torture myself.
I thought you meant you needed some way to restore your faith in humanity.
Oh yeah, I need to come back to the fold. Reconnecting with my Minions fan page.
Probably the fastest way to grind dust is just like find a screen with several enemies and just respawn them over and over.
Right.
Yeah, I love like imagining like Christian versions of stuff because that's such like evangelicals love to do like Christian parody versions of things.
Yeah, I mean that's the entirety of VeggieTales is just the just how can we make Indiana Jones a Christian?
I feel like VeggieTales started out like fairly original, but then like as time went on, it was just like all parodies all the time.
Yeah, no, there are still some choice lines in some of those episodes. especially like the songs, which were mostly actually they weren't like parodies. They were just like random nonsense songs, but some of them were legitimately pretty good. I sent the hamburger one to somebody recently
Oh, yeah,
who hadn't seen it. That song
that
still slaps.
that song is so good.
It's a good one.
um,
Trying to think of other songs on there. It's been so long.
I mean, Barbara Manatee is like
Right,
just so
yeah.
touchy.
That one, that episode in general was one of our favorites. Which is really,
I actually don't remember what
the
episode Barbara
it
Manatee
was
is.
Esther,
Uh,
which was really funny. Learning about later. That's a much. It's not nearly as PG as they make it.
oh god, that reminds me. They did the story of like David and Bathsheba,
Mhm.
which is
The rubber ducky.
about adultery. Yeah,
Oh God, yeah. God,
he
there
wants
was.
to fuck a rubber ducky.
It's also a good episode though. It's a very like. Yeah. It's just this dude is just also just spying on this kid in the bathtub. Just totally unremarked upon. God, what a wild show.
They made choices.
Yeah, 100%. I just have a weird urge to look up VeggieTales.
Stream's just gonna turn into watching VeggieTales.
I feel like that
Yeah.
happened last time too. It just keeps coming back to VeggieTales.
24-hour VeggieTales stream.
Yeah, for charity. The VeggieTales endurance run. Could have checked how much I need. 40. Okay. Dude, you're blocking my path.
Yeah.
But how is development going on the new game? I've seen a few screenshots, but I haven't been on the socials very much. So I haven't been keeping up.
Yeah, it's going pretty well. There's this like Steam Festival event coming up. So we're trying to get like a demo ready for that.
Oh, nice.
Exciting.
Yeah, so that involves kind of like doing some little like polish stuff that I've been putting off, which is like fun to see coming together. I made there's this like little cute creature idea that I've had for a long time. And I finally made it a couple days ago. Or I made the 3D model, it's not like totally done. But it came out like super cute. Like I kind of wanted it to be like, you know how a lot of games will have sort of a cute creature that's sort of like the series mascot? I was like, this could be the series mascot.
Oh, that's good.
But it's like there are these kind of points that you can like grapple to. And I was like, oh, like what if they're like a little, it's like flying like a bat, but it has like a frog tongue that it like grabs you with, and that's how you grapple.
Oh, that's good.
Oh heck.
So they're called ribbats. And I made the ribbat 3D model and its little flying animation, and it's just the cutest thing.
Good. I'm gonna need a
Excited.
plushie of that at some point.
Yeah.
Um, how have things been with you, Nate? Have you been working on anything in particular?
Uh, trying to even think. Honestly, I've been very scatterbrained. As usual. Trying to do too many things and not actually doing most of them. Um, but
Yeah.
I've been had a lot of interesting people on the show recently, which has been a lot of fun.
Nice.
Shane's on an upcoming episode, which was fun. We talked about horror movies and games and stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, so yeah, that's been a lot of my time, and I've been trying to keep writing stuff, but in a weird spot where like I'm just kind of tired of a lot of the forms of writing that are common around games. So trying to think of different ways to do that.
Mm.
Challenging and I was doing something weird. Um, but yeah, not too much going out there. Trying to honestly think. Anything I've been doing recently, mostly it's just been lots of naps. Has been my go-to sort of impulse is to just take a nap and play some Sudoku.
Yeah.
I'm becoming like an 80-year-old man over here.
Mm-hmm.
So watching too much Cracking the Cryptic, and it's just like slowly consuming me. I don't know if either of you watch these Sudoku YouTube channels, but
Oh, like a YouTube channel.
it's called Cracking the Cryptic. There was like one video that got really popular, is how I found them. But it's just this like British dude that just gets really excited about Sudoku. Uh, just yeah, it's very calming.
I think I've actually seen one of those.
I watched too many of them. They're just like very comforting to have on. It's just
Mm.
it's there's nothing there are no rough edges on it. It's just a entirely inoffensive, just this happy little British man solving some puzzles and just getting really
Ah,
excited when he solves them. And
nice.
that's just kind of the thing that I need right now. Uh,
Yeah. Hey, I actually have to get going now.
Okie doke. Well, thanks for
Remembered
hanging out
something.
so long.
Yeah, thanks for having me. If I get a little free spot, I might drop back in, but good luck with everything. It was nice to meet you, Shane.
Nice to meet you, Marina. Good
All
luck for your
right.
game. Good in the demo
Thank
today.
you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah. See you later.
See ya.
Bye.
Probably actually a good period to switch to whatever's next on the schedule.
That's actually also perfect because this is where I'm at in the game, so no spoilers for me.
Nice. Yeah, the game it goes some places.
You
I,
played before?
yeah, I played it about a year ago. It's a oh, I guess it just quit. I thought I was going back to the menu. Yeah, it's exceptional. It's definitely up there for like one of my all-time faves.